Was this online?
Oh yeah, you guys were during COVID, weren't you? That is crazy. Okay. Yeah, I definitely high school. We had a few of those instances, and it's just not not helpful and can like lead to sometimes like lack of focus. It's hard to focus because you want to take the time to grieve. You want to make sure to have the proper time to grieve. Actually, I'll start here on burnout symptoms just because this is stuff that we can have here that are. When I notice these, I have to do self-care or else I will totally burn out. Some of the symptoms are like we are even bored or negative attitudes towards work or school. Then I have more errors and accidents, impatience, irritability, physical depletion, so like tiredness, pain, headaches, and illness. And that could be like from lack of sleep, feeling of helplessness or hopelessness, withdrawing from relationships and isolation, and even grandiosity. Here's some of the poor self-care toxic like things that might cause the burnout. If we have toxic friends or even colleague support, if you do in your life have little fun, no playfulness or humor, laughing in life or work. On Friday, I talked about this. It says a fuzzy, inarticulated understanding of one's own needs. So I talked about it in the contract form, like at work, they usually give you what your duties are at work that you have to do. And if they're not clear on those, they could like add more onto you or throw a bunch of clients onto you in social work. So it's important to look at your contract when you first take the job. If it says 20 clients a week, billable hours, don't let them throw 25 clients on you because it'll burn you out. So it's important to know like the initial upfront. Or if your agency doesn't do professional development, so professional development process, I skipped it. It turns into like not knowing how to do our job or our internship. Also a no energy giving personal life, an inability to say no to unreasonable requests, and that comes up again with the contract. So if they're trying to get us to do more work,
So if they say like so how you said the contract says up to 20.
That's pretty normal, yeah. 20.
Like us personally, mentally, emotionally, and all of that, we can only handle about 10. And they try to give us more, and we're like, no, I don't want it. And they be like, okay, at this point, you're not like what I will. You're fired.
Oh, yeah.
So how do we go about that?
Some people take personal leave at work or a family medical leave act or some where you don't get paid, but you get, or go to part-time. So 20 a week usually pays like 40,000 to 45,000 a year. Say you did 10, it would be 20,000 a year. So some people just cut back to part-time. Full-time's nice though, as you get benefits and like insurance and all that. And yeah, pretty standard is 20 clients a week. It's 4 a day. I liked at Lighthouse where if I saw 4 a day, I'd see them all in the morning and get it done and over with. And then I wouldn't have to worry about. Right. You actually. So if you only saw 4 clients a day, you could see them at like 10, 11, 12, and 1. Write your notes at 1:30 and 2 and be gone. So I usually only worked that much when I was full-time anyway.
So if I had like 5 clients, I would do 10 in the morning, 11.
That's probably what most people do.
Lunch, 1,
Right.
2, 3.
Right.
Every client, just write my notes.
Every agency is different, but most of the ones I've been to, as long as I saw those 4 clients a day, they're happy as ever. Now, if I start making excuses why I can't see 4 a day, they'd be like, "Why don't you try out part time?" You know what I mean? Like, but you can actually.
She was doing in-home care, and she didn't have a heart, but she made make sure her clients was good and stuff like that. And one of her coworkers was like, "Hey," and well, technically she don't see her clients.
Huh. The nice part about social work and documentation is if you go and whether it's home visits or they come in the office, you write up your note and you, right.
Like even if it was cause some of her clients they didn't really need it.
Okay.
So she'll just if she couldn't make it or if she couldn't have a car, she'll let me know like, hey, I don't have a car because her and my cousins and share. Like, hey, I have a car for you.
Mhm.
But basically the clients was very lenient and working with her because they know how it is.
Right. So, and then if we had that in our case, you would usually then, if the clients didn't need anything, then you would close them out. You just say, like, you're done, you do the closure paperwork and take on a new client where, like, the billable hours are face to face. And that's sometimes challenging and tricky, but it helps to just be clear about it. So, yeah, was she in social work or was she in something else?
She was more like a nurse.
Okay, right. So yeah, if they would tell me that they didn't need anything else, either I still could get my hours from seeing all the other clients face to face, and then I wouldn't see that one and not close them, or if I needed a new client, I would close the one that said they didn't need anything and take on a new client. So it's all about billable hours and productivity. And then finance. So I had this part when we made this PowerPoint because it's important if you are a newly graduated social worker to do good on finance because it's easy to get into debt fast and like what I say, always do your mileage and things that they pay you gas for and all that. Otherwise, you could forget some miles and not put them in, then you don't get paid for it, and say maybe something breaks in the car and you're behind. But it's important to keep track of all expenses and financial obligations. Mismanagement of finances can quickly lead to unnecessary stress. There are many sources of information found online in our library about finances. A big one I use is called Dave Ramsey. So a lot of people use Dave Ramsey. Do all clients require in-person visit or just within monthly, yearly goals? Most social work clients require visits, and most of the agencies I've been to, like they want you to see them every week. At hospice, they would require monthly. And then, like I said, if the client didn't need anything, you usually just do the closure paperwork and take on a new client who does need something. And that way you don't have trouble with, productivity. I guess the idea being you have to earn enough money for the agency to stay open. Like if I'm not billing enough and seeing enough of the clients, and there's a huge waiting list for those who need services, my agency won't make enough to stay open, and that's when they start doing layoffs. So they're like, all right, that's fine if they didn't need anything, just make sure that you do paperwork to close them and open somebody new that does need the service. Here's some of the exercises on self-care. So this one is like a meditation. It says, imagine yourself as a cup. You spend your workday hearing stories of others, being with them and their pain and their joy. You also have your own stories, your own pain and your own joy. If eventually your cup becomes full, some days it is overflowing, you can't hear one more story of pain. You might snap at a loved one, as that's who we see the most at the end of the night. You might feel like sleeping all day as you're tired and burnt out. But self-care, it says here, is what we do to empty the cup. It's critical that you empty your cup every day. so that you can re-engage in your life and your work in an effective, healthy way. So here's some things you might already do a few of these for self-care. There's walking, meditating, prayer, talking with a friend, listening to music, taking a bath, and then you could also ride a bike, sit in the sun, play with animals, eat lunch outside, paint, look at the stars. Have you seen that dog they have at the cop station?
Yeah.
Apparently, they say the dog sees like 10 hours of clients a day on Thursdays. I didn't realize that. So, is it a bad dog?
No, she's not bad. She's just a dog.
Right. But some people like that's
a dog. Like she's not bad as in
it's a therapy
she's
dog.
Like she's more quiet.
Right.
She's like,
It's usually a relaxed dog. So, garden, drinking tea, gardening, dancing, drawing, journaling, cooking, reading, smell flowers, jog, get a pedicure, you get a manicure, do yoga, play soccer, play in the grass, stretch, go to church, temple, play a game, laugh, or swim. So those are a lot of the options of self-care. You might already do some ideas for others. And then the last several slides are like things we have to nurture so that we do take care of ourselves. So emotional self, that's processing emotions and seeking therapy when necessary. It's okay for social workers to go to social workers and counselors. The financial self, learning good financial management skills, particularly in a field where pay might be low. The humorous self, learning to use humor appropriately in the workplace, where often serious and sad or painful issues are being dealt with. There's a book called Man's Search for Meaning. This guy's writing about the Holocaust and how he survived the Holocaust and got out of it even after he found that his wife had died. The loving self, developing and attending to genuine loving relationships that provide support. Empathetic people often have a tendency to give love, taking care of others without focusing on getting love. So making sure it's reciprocal what you do with different folks. The nutritious self, so listening to your body, developing good nutritional habits that sustain and nourish your body. I always say for me, drinking more water and eating more vegetables, because those are the things I always skip. The physical self, developing a routine for physical activity. Vigorous physical exercise has been shown to reduce stress. Sometimes I just take a walk. You'll see me walk a lap around campus, so I'll add a mile or two on. Just try to get 4.1 miles a day or something for just like the stress. Playful self, having free time to enjoy life and engage in playful activities. Priority setting self, so manage your time, identifying priorities and setting boundaries on work and play activities. Recreational self, engaging in a hobby that can provide regular stimulation and satisfaction. Relaxation, stress reduction self. This is where you combat over arousal, our own reaction to crisis or stressful situations based on traumatic stress responses, and do this by developing a relaxation response such as deep breathing or meditation, which you'll see me try to do the deep breath often just to regulate. Solitary self, so taking time to be alone and quiet. Personal beliefs that assist a spiritual or religious self, so attending to personal or beliefs that assist making meaning of the world. We call it meaning making in the world that can be confusing, a world that can serve as a grounding force. So like going to church, going to temple, doing spirituality. Here's a meditation taken from page 99 in the book 12 Steps and 12 Traditions from Alcoholics Anonymous. And they say, we might start it like this. Consider a good prayer. We don't have far to seek. Great men and women of all religions has left a wonderful supply of prayers Let us consider a classic. The author was a man who for several hundred years now has been rated a saint. We won't be biased or scared off by the fact, because although he was not an alcoholic, he did, like us, go through the emotional ringer. As he came out of the other side of that painful experience, this prayer was his expression of what we could then see, feel, and wish to become. And it goes, Lord, make me a channel of thy peace, that where there is hatred, I may bring love, that where there is wrong, I may bring the spirit of forgiveness, that where there is discord, I may bring harmony, where there is error, I may bring truth, where there is doubt, I may bring faith, that where there is despair, I may bring hope, where there are shadows, I may bring light, that where there is sadness, I may bring joy. Lord, grant that I may seek rather than to be comforted and understood, to comfort rather than be comforted, to understand rather than be understood, to love than be loved, for it is by self-forgetting that one finds, and by forgiving that one is forgiven, by dying that one awakens to eternal life. And it says, as beginners meditation, we might reread this prayer several times very slowly, savoring every word and trying to take the deep meaning of each phrase and idea. We found a few other books on meditation. You can see those in Google or Amazon. They sell meditation books. And then we always talk about this balanced wellness. You want to look at all these areas. So like physical health, spiritual health, intellectual, emotional. And like if I neglect one of them, it could be like a stool that has 3 legs and it won't fall over. But if I'm neglecting 2 of those, the stool's going to fall over. And that's when we usually collapse. So I need to at least be addressing 3 of these 4 regularly, and then rotate through the physical, emotional, spiritual, and intellectual health. You can do this by creating a personal self-care plan. And this is kind of like, sometimes we do this in a group we lead with the folks we're working with. So a personal self-care plan would be using this information in your readings, develop a self-care plan. The use of a self-care plan can prevent burnout and compassion fatigue. It can also increase your ability to identify signs of stress. Awareness of your own stress level is critical. It's a critical component of effective clinical practice. So just knowing yourself and knowing what you have to do to take care. All right, so we've got Drew, Sierra, and Sydney and Madison on here. Did you find out why your friend, what the cause of, okay. Yeah, that's home in Las Vegas then too? Was everything back home in Las Vegas? Okay. Really? Right. Oh. Right, yeah. That is definitely stressful. It's something that it's hard to have the right response to. Like, you think it's related to COVID or the vaccine or any of that stuff? I wonder. It's like, I know we can do the exemption form here, but some people are forced to get it from military. Yeah. Right.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't process it.
Well, yeah, it's always weird when I know I'm still young, so when I see somebody pass, that's stressful too. And then they have like that big Queen funeral and stuff like that, and a hurricane in Puerto Rico. Like just the news isn't the best. Oh, the president said the pandemic's over. I didn't realize that. That's what he said. Huh. All right. Still has about Trump somehow, even though he was
Why
president.
is he
Like,
still relevant?
I know. Why is he even in the
I
news?
feel like once he did his wife the way he did her, he should have been.
Right.
Not even that. He should have been gone once he went in office.
Then you've got the Pentagon reviews psychological operations amid Facebook and Twitter complaints. So I guess they were reading all of our chats on Facebook and Twitter. That's weird. And then stuff about electric cars. But I was going to go back to the groups. Which day did you think you were going to do a group? Is that next month? And okay.
But I just have to be. But yeah, I just got five.
Right. Even if you just brought one, at least you could lead it to me and them and just bring them at 1 on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. And then that's really all that we have for today. I wanted to finish that. We'll get into this one again more on Wednesday. I can't believe it's already 2/3 over with the month of September. It feels like it just started September. But I guess that just means we're getting done quicker and quicker and quicker. Did you have any questions about any of the other assignments or anything? You doing okay in your other horrible classes, or are they easy now finally?
Public speaking and principles of finance. With my first quiz of personal finance, I did good, and it's yes.
Okay. There's another quiz. Oh, they're online, aren't they?
I gotta see what's it like from 90 to 75. And public speaking, I don't know. I just feel like she's too much.
Really?
Like you're strict, you got all these rules and stuff like that. And then you turn around and hit us at 12 in the morning. Y'all, you got 2 quizzes due today. Violet.
That is weird. Does she just? Usually when I'm putting stuff up like that, I give you 2 weeks to find it out.
Yeah, and then it's just like you gotta write a speech, turn around and do an outline, and do what you gotta.
That is weird. That's like, and none of those are on this because it's your minor. This is all for social work majors. You graduate in May, right? So you have one of these all done, filled out? Okay. We actually could send it to the people for audit if you wanted to.
Yeah, tomorrow, is Nikita office hours tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. She has some on the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see.
Cool. Well, as long as you've got this, I can show you Nikita's hours on the door. over there on the way out. Let's see. All right, let's end it so we see you guys Wednesday. All right.